Hello, my name is Ellie Cohen. I am a PM on the Azure Stack HCI PM team. Today, I'm excited to tell you about remote support for Azure Stack HCI. This feature is currently in public preview, but will be moving to general availability very soon. So keep an eye out for the announcement. Now, let's get into the content. During the next few minutes, I'll cover the frustrating support experience and how remote support solves this problem. I'll walk you through a high-level architecture diagram of how remote support works. Next, I'll share a demo of the feature in action, and then highlight some of the benefits of using it. Finally, I'll wrap up with some resources about how to try out remote support today, as well as some direct quotes from other Azure Stack HCI customers who have used remote support and found it really useful. If you've ever opened a support ticket with Microsoft Support, you might have experienced a situation like this. Microsoft Support schedules a Teams call with you and explains how to collect the required logs and upload them to a location where they can access them. So you hang up from the call, figure out how to gather the logs, and share them with the support engineer. After reviewing the logs, the support engineer contacts you that it's actually a different issue than they expected, and you'll need to collect and upload more logs. Once you do that, it's time to schedule another call with support to perform more troubleshooting and repair actions. This can be a lengthy, tedious process. Add in different time zones and work hours, and it becomes even more complex. Wouldn't it be easier if Microsoft Support could remotely connect to your HCI cluster and troubleshoot the system directly? That's exactly the solution remote support provides. When you detect an issue with your Azure Stack HCI cluster, the first step is to file a support case through the Azure portal. Then, you navigate to Windows Admin Center to access the remote support extension. From the extension, you grant Microsoft Support remote support access for a specific duration and set access level. The access levels you can choose from are Diagnostics for read operations only, or Diagnostics plus Repair for read and write operations. HCI remote support is rooted in secure practices. Microsoft support engineers can only access your HCI cluster from a secure access workstation, or SAW device. Through a just enough administration, or JIA endpoint, the support engineer gains extremely restricted access to your HCI cluster and can only run PowerShell commandlets that have been pre-approved and included in the remote support allow list. The precise list of allowed commandlets can be found in the remote support public documentation. Now for a demo. Here's the remote support extension in Windows Admin Center. When you're ready to get started, click the Grant Access button from the top menu. This will open the Grant Access flyout. Select the access level, Diagnostics or Diagnostics plus Repair. Next, select the access period, 8 hours, 24 hours, or the recommended 7 days. For HCI clusters that are already registered with Azure, a shared access signature or SAS token is not required. For unregistered clusters, Microsoft Support will provide you with a SAS token to enter here. Finally, review the terms and conditions, select I agree, and grant access. You will receive a notification when remote support access has been granted. And that's all you need to do as a customer. Switching to the Azure Support Center, this is how Microsoft Support activates a remote support session. First, they select the critical incident labeled Azure Stack HCI. This contains a link to initiate a remote PowerShell session on each cluster node. It can take a few minutes to connect. Multiple support engineers can connect to one cluster at a time, but there can only be one engineer in each remote session. Running the get command lists all the commandlets that Microsoft Support can run during a troubleshooting session. Let's try some out. First, let's run get-cluster. Here, the cluster name is returned. If we run get-cluster s2d, This tells us more information about the cluster's storage spaces direct system. Let's see what other commands we can run. How about get-Azure Stack HCI? This returns the Azure registration and connection status. To learn more about HCI remote support and view the entire list of allowed commandlets, refer to the public documentation. Here, you'll find the entire list of diagnostics and diagnostics plus repair commandlets. There are several benefits to using HCI remote support. The first is speed. Remote support improves the speed to resolution as Microsoft support no longer needs to arrange a meeting with you for troubleshooting. Furthermore, this reduces the number of remote troubleshooting sessions required to resolve issues and saves time because you don't need to be on the call with the support engineer. Remote support is also completely free. It is included with the Azure Stack HCI subscription for no additional cost. And most importantly, it is 100% safe and secure. Remote support access is granted on an incident-by-incident basis. You have the power to define the access level and duration per incident, so you can revoke permission at any time, and the remote session will be terminated immediately. Otherwise, remote access is automatically disabled once the access duration has expired. During the public preview, HCI remote support has received a lot of really positive feedback. One customer who tried it out said, "This will save us lots of time log collecting, and some issues are just easier to show than explain." Another customer explained that getting a support ticket solved quickly is usually the best thing. It saves time. This is exactly what remote support helps achieve. To learn more and try it out, you can review the public documentation on Microsoft Learn or read the Microsoft Inspire 2022 blog post when we announced the public preview of HCI remote support. Thank you so much for listening. During your next call with Microsoft support, ask to try out HCI remote support and get your issues solved faster and easier.